Hey, Tracy, welcome to the Entrepreneur Mindset Podcast. I'm so glad that you're here with me today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We have been talking before I hit record, and I am notorious for doing this. I always start the conversation and then I hit record, but we've been talking about gaining visibility for your business. And I know that when I'm talking with clients, especially newer course creators and coaches, that is top of mind for everyone. And the advice is all over the place.
Yes.
Whew. So is it true? I see a lot of things saying you have to have all this media exposure. You have to be in Forbes. You have to be in Inc. You have to be, is that true?
No, not in my opinion. I mean, it's nice to have those things, but I have what I consider to be a very successful business. Sometimes some of my months are 5-figure months. Not every month. I'm not going to, make it sound like I've had every month is 5-figure months, but most of the year I have 5-figure months, but I haven't been in Forbes.
Okay.
I haven't been in Inc. yet. I hope to be.
Yet.
No. Visibility is all about starting where you are and on the platforms that you love and where your ideal clients are and building from there.
Okay. So if we don't have to be all over the major news outlets,
right?
The other kind of end of the spectrum I'm seeing is you have to have all of these one-on-one conversations. And I know for a lot of people that makes them go, oh, I don't have that kind of time. If that's how I'm supposed to build visibility, how am I ever going to make it work?
Right. Yeah. One-on-one conversations are great, but they do take time, just like you're saying. Even having one-on-one DM conversations where you're not hopping on Zoom, but there's an exchange back and forth in the direct messaging, that can be time consuming. So absolutely not. You don't have to, I do love having one-on-one conversations with people because I'm a people person and I love to network. And I feel like that's where the deeper relationship and connection is going to come from. But just to gain visibility and grow your audience, there's so many things you can do that are not going to be, that they sound like they're going to be time consuming. They're really not. There's a whole lot of little things that when you layer them one on top of the other, they start to work in your favor as this cogwheel that just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. The key is being patient. The time consuming part is the length of time it takes to grow an audience organically.
Okay.
But it doesn't take a lot of my time or your time to get the ball rolling and implement some strategies. It's just a lot of people give up because they're not patient and they're not consistent with what they're doing.
Okay. And you were telling me that you actually built your business when you were still in corporate. So if you were able to do both of those things side by side, surely the things that you're teaching and that are working for you, at least in the beginning, didn't take a ton of time because you were already working a regular office job, 9 to 5, probably longer, if we're honest.
If we're honest.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, I was. And not only that, but I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a dog mom. And so I had the corporate career, which was sales. And so yeah, sometimes it was 9 to 5, but then other times there would be extra networking events or extra things that I needed to attend. And then we had 2 kids. We still have 2 kids, but
they're just older.
They're older. Yeah. Back then, one was in middle school and one was in high school, and they played what felt like every sport that had a ball. And so there was practices and there was games and, the events that they've got that you don't want to miss. And so I really had to be strategic with my time. I did not have 40 hours a week to build this business. I had to schedule my office hours, is what I called them.
Okay.
And craft it around the family, and then think to myself, at the list of things that I wanted to do to gain visibility, or the ways people say, the things they say you have to do to gain visibility. That's another thing I love. I had to look at that list and say to myself, okay, what can I do? What do I have time for? And the rest of the stuff I had to park in a parking lot of good ideas and wait until I was able to leave corporate to then expand the strategies that I was doing.
Okay. So I'm kind of in a similar boat. I'm a wife, a mom, we homeschool. I've got, lots of things going on. And I do a similar thing. I have all of these great ideas, and then
Yes.
I choose the ones that I have the time for that will have the most impact.
Yes.
Do those, set everything else aside as wow, this is a great wish list. I hope I get to it. It's okay if I don't, because I'm doing the right things right now, and that's okay. So what was on the top of your list when you didn't have a ton of time, when you were first getting started for
When I was
visibility?
first,
What were you doing?
yeah, when I was first getting started, of course, I was creating my online course.
Mm-hmm.
That took time.
Oh,
But building the visibility in the online space, making sure that, well, first of all, let me step back for a second. So when I first started, I wanted to be on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, all the places. What ended up happening was I only had time for Facebook.
yeah.
Was it. When it wasn't until I was able to hire my assistant, Jill, she's the reason why I'm on Instagram with about a 4,500 follower count right now.
Okay.
She's the reason why you see my stuff on LinkedIn. I am not on LinkedIn and I am not active on Instagram unless somebody messages me. Because
Okay.
I still, to this day, even though I'm a full-time entrepreneur now,
Mhm.
that's not where I want to spend my time. Facebook turned into my main platform. So I would encourage everybody, if they're just starting out and they have limited time,
Mhm.
one platform. Pick one platform and master it before you try to juggle other ones.
Mhm.
And so I went all in on Facebook, but
Okay.
I made sure that even just the details of Facebook for me, my Facebook personal profile, as an example,
Mhm.
I had to make sure that was dialed in so that when I'm in a Facebook group with you and we are interacting and commenting back and forth,
Mhm.
if you went to click on my personal profile, you could very easily see who I am, what I do, who I serve, and take the next step with me,
Mhm.
just land on my email list,
Ah,
because that's where all roads should be leading in our businesses. And you know this. The email list is
ah.
key to the success. You've got to have one. And I teach my clients and students that every action we take in our business, all
Mhm.
roads need to be leading to that email list, if at all possible. And so I use my personal profile as an email list builder. A lot of people don't know you
Mhm.
can do that. And it's essentially through the way you utilize the cover photo.
Mhm.
And then I decided that I wanted to build what I found lacking in a lot of the Facebook groups for entrepreneurs was true engagement and community and support. And this was before I found the one where you and I are both members, Momentum.
Mhm.
This was before I had gone through
Yeah.
Digital Course Academy. And so a lot of the groups I was finding where my ideal clients were, they just felt like spam fests. Everybody was just posting something about,
Yes.
this is my thing, buy my stuff. And nobody was interacting and nobody was supporting each other and nobody was really having a conversation, which is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And so I decided, well, okay, if I can't find it, I'll build it. So I built a Facebook group, which turned into, and still to this day is, my biggest email list builder. Every
Yeah.
single month I have hundreds of people join my Facebook group.
Mhm.
But I focused my time and energy on Facebook, on making sure that my personal profile was dialed in, my business page profile was dialed in, that Facebook group was active and people were engaging in it, and that I was actively meeting people and inviting them into the group, because the group also builds my list.
Right. Right. And I'm in your group, and it's a lovely space to be in. I'm in some of those spammy groups.
Yeah.
Yours is not like that. It has this relationship feel to it. Like you go in and it's going into someone's home and you sit down with some friends.
That's the way I wanted it to be. I'm an inclusive, like, you can come sit at my lunch table type
Yep.
girl,
Yep.
um
Mhm.
I don't ever want anybody sitting alone. And in the
Right.
online space, it is so lonely some
Mm.
days, especially because we're all working at home. I'm here by myself now because the kids have flown the coop and my husband's at the office. And so for me, it's kind of like my people,
Mhm.
it's the people that I
Yes.
get to talk to all day long.
So I heard a lot of things in there. One thing, I'm going to take a little squirrel moment if you'll indulge me.
Sure.
you said, really optimize your personal Facebook profile. And
Yes.
now there's this professional mode. Do you
Yes.
turn that on?
That's a really good question. I think mine got turned on automatically before they actually gave you the choice. Because my assistant said that to me. She goes, "Are we professional mode?" I'm like, "I think so. I don't know." And I went and looked. I'm like,
Oh.
"Sure enough, I think I am." And also, you can create, I just heard this the other day, that you can create more than one profile now in Facebook,
Mhm.
which before that was against their rules and regulations or something like that, which that kind of bothers me a little bit. It's like, I recommend having one personal profile and
Mhm.
one business page, and that,
Yeah.
because that's enough to manage.
Isn't
Right.
it though? Talk about getting on one platform, like you said, and then focusing in and learning it and really becoming a master of it. But if you have 18 business pages and 3 personal profiles, and then you're in the groups that you're doing all of your networking and building of relationships,
Right. That's a lot.
that's more than a full-time job.
Well, and not to mention the fact that if you're in groups and building relationships under 5 different names and 5 different business pages, nobody is going to know what you do.
No.
You're not going to be known for anything. In fact, one of my students last spring, we connected. She was interested in my program,
Mhm.
and I was so confused between her name in this one group where I'd met her and her name in another group where I thought she was that same person, but I wasn't sure.
Oh.
And then her Instagram profile, that I was so tangled up in my head. I was finally like, are all of these places you? And she was like, yes. And I said, this is confusing.
Oh.
I'm losing track of who you are based on where I'm finding you. And that's not
Mhm.
a good thing at all. You want
That's
to be branded
mhm.
one way
Mhm.
and, have that brand cohesive so that
Yeah.
there's not, because the minute there's a question in anybody's mind, they're gone. A confused client will not purchase, they will not connect, they will not take
Right.
the next step with you, because um, there is so much fraud on the internet now,
Mhm.
especially on social media.
There
The
is.
minute somebody gets the hint that you're not trustworthy or credible or whatever, they're gone.
There's
Yeah.
so many other people they could go to that they don't get that same, ooh, I'm not sure feeling. That we
Right.
don't want to create that feeling. We want them to say, oh, yeah, I know who she is. I know who he is. I know who they are. Let's go with it because
Yes.
I get it and I trust them.
Yeah. And I can trust them with my money.
Yeah, because
And
it's
I
not
trust.
just maybe a 30-minute coffee chat like I hop on all the time, and I know you probably do too. It's someone holding up their credit card and saying, here's what I've earned, and I'm
Right.
giving it to you and hoping for the best.
Yes, exactly right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So starting out, really just focusing on one platform,
Yes.
keeping it simple, making sure everything's aligned.
Hmm.
That way, everyone knows who you are,
Right.
regardless of where they find you.
Right.
And then the next step would be what?
So, the next step, I think, for me anyway, was the networking piece.
Okay.
Navigating Facebook groups where my ideal clients are hanging out, and not to spam anybody or, you know, brag on myself or, solicit anything at all. It
Mhm.
was merely for visibility
Mhm.
and for me to be able to share my knowledge and help other people. And through doing that in the groups that I was in, people would get curious about me if I was able to answer their question and they really liked my answer.
Yep.
And then they would click on my personal profile, because 9 times out of 10, that's what appears in a Facebook group. It's up to the Facebook group owner whether or not you can be in their group as a business page.
Right.
In my Facebook group, everybody's in there under their personal profile, because it is human to human contact in my
That.
Facebook group. And that's what I want. I don't want business to human contact. That doesn't feel good to me.
No.
So they'll click on my personal profile. And when they go to my personal profile, just like we're talking about, I
Mhm.
need them to see who I am, what I do, who I serve, and want to take the next step with me.
Mhm.
And so by interacting that, so that next
Okay.
logical step for me, after I've dialed in my personal profile, I've dialed in my business page, and those two things are cohesive from a brand standpoint, and cohesive with my website, right? Because all those pieces need to look alike and flow. Then the next step is go out and meet the people, which is in
Mhm.
Facebook groups
Okay.
for me because we're online,
Mhm.
and then be able to interact, make connections, talk to other people, do coffee chats, and find out all about them, because we never know where the next person we meet, we never know where it's going to lead. They may end up being my next best great client. They
Mhm.
may not want to be my client at all, but they may have an accountability partner or a mastermind, a fellow, business bestie that needs me, that could be my client.
Mhm.
Or like you and we connected, and you were like, oh my gosh, I need you to be a guest on, I would love to have you as a guest on my podcast. I need podcast guests. And I'm like,
Yeah.
sweet. That's a win-win for both of us. We're
Right.
collaborating, right? Or,
Yeah.
you could find your next best referral partner or your next best
Mm.
business partner for that matter.
Yeah.
And so, while on the face of it, sometimes people feel that networking isn't going to lead anywhere. Am I spinning my wheels? Am I wasting my time? My um, theory is, the more we give, the more we share, the more we support other people, the more the connections you'll make, and the more it will come back to you in terms of business growth in some way.
Mhm.
And the exciting part is, we don't know what way that is yet.
No,
You know,
it
we
is
don't,
so exciting.
it is. It is. But I have a lot of clients and students that get frustrated with the process, and they're like, Tracy, I'm networking and I'm talking to people and I'm doing coffee chats, not leading anywhere. And I'm like, you've got to give this time. That's the thing with these organic strategies is, I am not a super patient person. And when I wanted to leave corporate, I wanted to leave corporate.
You were done 3 days before, at least before you left. You wanted to
I
just
just,
leave.
I did. I had had enough.
Yeah.
But it took a while to grow. It did. And organic strategies do take time, but there's going to come a day when your business and all the things that you've been doing, it's just
Mhm.
pop. It's just going to blow wide open.
Yeah.
And then you can say, okay, yeah, the last 6 months, the last 9 months of consistency and patience have paid off finally.
But see, it's that patience. And so that trips us up, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so we see paid ads as being the silver bullet, but there is no silver bullet
No,
here.
no,
And I know we were talking about paid ads aren't always the bee's knees.
they're not. Paid ads have their place.
Yeah.
Paid ads will come in like a massive spotlight and spotlight whatever you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so paid ads have their place when you have when you have visibility, when you've grown an audience, when you have all these other things dialed in, when you have offers that are converting, when you have lead magnets that are converting. Because if you've got a lead magnet, a free guide, a free
Mm-hmm.
PDF, whatever, that's not converting, and you come in and throw money at it, that's not going to make it convert. It's just going to be a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't understand that. They do think it's a silver bullet. Oh, well, I'll get 1,000 people on my email list if I spend, this amount of money. Well, maybe, maybe not. And are those people going to stick around with you? I mean, you just never
Right.
know. And they are so expensive, and they're very unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would rather exhaust all the free strategies before I go and make sure that my whatever I'm going to attached to that ad,
Mm-hmm.
I have the conversion and the proof that what I'm putting out there is already successful, so
Yeah.
that the ad can just add fuel to that fire.
So that brings up a really interesting point. If things aren't already converting well, if you don't already have these funnels, these lead magnets to email sequences to offers, all of that stuff working for you, maybe it's a masterclass, a webinar, whatever it is that you're building inside your business, if it's not already working, just putting money behind it is not going to fix it. And the only way you're going to figure out why it's not working is to have those conversations where someone says, well, this part of it was really helpful, but I didn't actually need that part. And so then I got lost, or it wasn't, I'm not there yet. So it
Right.
didn't feel like I needed that.
Right.
And so I didn't say yes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You don't have that knowledge, and you're not going to get it from that really cold traffic of an ad that
Right.
maybe has never seen you before, has no reason to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Right. You're not even, if you don't have an audience built, you're not even able to target a warm audience.
No.
And those are that's your low hanging fruit in the paid ad space.
Yeah.
That cold audience is even more difficult to attract and get to stick around. So definitely build an audience first and get those conversions in.
So it sounds like email list growth organically. Your favorite approach is maybe a Facebook group?
That's my favorite approach for me. And for
Okay.
most of my clients, it makes perfect sense.
Okay.
It really depends on the business and who they serve. I was talking to a lady last week. She has services that help parents, moms and dads, with teenagers that have a mental health diagnosis.
Okay.
So for her, a free Facebook group is a major win. I mean, if you were a parent and had a teenager that had a mental health diagnosis, can you imagine the amount of Googling you're going to have to do to get the answers and support you need? The support, first of all, feeling like you're not alone.
That right there, that alone is worth it.
Yeah. And the second thing is all the information distilled down and shortcutted in her Facebook group. And what a blessing she could be to them. And so for that business model, it's perfect. For me, it makes perfect sense. Online entrepreneurship, lonely, difficult.
Yes.
And there's a million different viewpoints. You and I have talked about that too. There, paid ads or no paid ads. Do you throw out a free lead magnet, or is it a paid lead magnet? Do you launch with a challenge or a boot camp or a masterclass? And everybody's got an argument on every single side of everything in the online space. And that's where your mind can just start to spin, and you're like, hold on. I need to find some people that are doing what I'm doing and get some feedback and get some help and get some support. And so if your business is in the business of serving people and can provide that level of support, that's awesome. One of my students she helps women over 40 redesign their life and live a life that they truly want. It's kind of like we get to 40, the kids are gone, and we're thinking, gee, is this all there is?
Things change. And
and so she helps them kind of navigate that next chapter of their life. A Facebook group there again. She was like, really? I should have a Facebook group? I'm like, how much fun would it be to have all these women in this one space supporting each other and interacting? And it doesn't have to take you a lot of time either. When I first started working in corporate, building my Facebook group, I knew I could not post in there every single day. That was not going to happen. So I started with 3 days a week. I said, okay, I'll post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Thursday, I'll go live. And that's what I did for a long time. Now we're in there 7 days a week, but we just ramped up to 7 days a week about 6 months ago.
Okay. So it doesn't have to be overwhelming. That's what all of this boils down to. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, that it absolutely can be done organically in a way that fits your needs, fits your personality, fits your business.
Absolutely. It has to be authentic to you, or it's going to feel like you're wearing a jacket that's 2 sizes too small.
And who wants to do that?
No, and then that's where you're not going to be able to be consistent. That's where you're going to get frustrated because it's not happening fast, because it doesn't feel good. I don't want to do this anymore. And you're going to fall off the consistency wagon. And that wagon is what's going to get you the success. So if you don't like what you're doing, we've got to figure out a way for you to grow in a way that makes sense for you. I can say all day long that a free Facebook group would make sense for your business. But if that doesn't feel good to you, then we're going to scrap that idea and we're going to find something else.
Yeah. I agree. You just have to, there's so many opportunities out there. Find the one that's aligned.
Right. Exactly.
Because you're right. If you're going to be all in and work hard for 6, 9, 12 months, just building up that visibility, and that is one of your biggest focuses. You want it, yeah, that didn't quite come out right. If it's going to be your biggest focus, you want it to not be something you sit down at your desk and you go, oh, I don't want to do this today.
Right.
And you just back away, tiptoeing away from your desk like it's on fire. That's not what we want.
No,
because that's not going to work.
it's not. It's not going to
Okay. So if you could give entrepreneurs, especially, those coaches, course creators, one piece of advice when they're in the thick of it, the first couple of years, I know the rule of thumb with brick and mortars has always been, give it a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years. We don't have that mindset in the online space, and we think we need to adopt it because it's realistic. Right. But what piece of advice can you give them when they're in the thick of it? It feels tough. It feels like you aren't making forward movement, but you're doing all the things.
Oh gosh, that's such a great question. So having coached both brick and mortar and online, the brick and mortar space, it can take 3 to 5 years for that business to be profitable. And the thing about it is the brick and mortar business owners expect that. Right. They know going in, they're going to have to get loans and equipment, and they're going to have overhead and employees. And so they're not expecting to make money or a lot of money immediately. Whereas what I see in the online spaces, and I think it's because, and I thought this too, honestly, I thought I've got 20 years experience in marketing and business growth. I can build an online business. That'll be easy. No. And then I thought, oh, and it'll be cheap too. Well, okay. Compared to opening a McDonald's franchise, yes, it is much less expensive from a cost standpoint because it is just me. I don't have to have a lot of overhead and bells and whistles and things like that. And a lot of what we use to grow is free. Facebook, Instagram, all the things. Email service providers, you can find those for free.
Yeah.
But because of that, because it's simple to get started, people think it's going to be simple to make money, and they're going to make money and there's so many people out there that are promising, I can get you 6 figures in 6 months, or I'll have you, in 30 days with $2,000. And I'm thinking, holy moly, stop the madness, because that's not true. And what they're selling you is magic beans, basically.
And maybe something that's not ethical.
Exactly right. And not something that's going to not be sustainable.
Yeah.
So we have to shift our mindset. And first of all, we have to understand we are building a business. Just because it's in the online space doesn't mean it's not a business. You need to have a good accounting system. You need to be tracking your income and your expenses. I recommend you have a business credit card, because you're going to have some expenses and you don't want to have to come out of your cash and have that extra stress of draining your savings account to build something. And in building a business, we have to understand that it can take 6 months to a year to turn a profit. Now, I was bringing in income in my first few weeks, but it was because I had a massive network here locally that I had built up over 15 years. Right. And those were my first clients. And so somebody just starting out that doesn't have that can't compare themselves to me. That's not fair. Right. But being in the thick of it is so true. When you're first starting out, you're trying to fly the plane and build it at the same time. And my clients and students that are just starting out, they're within their first 6 months, they're still creating their course. They're still building their email list. They're still figuring out what's their regular weekly content going to be. What are their calls to action going to be? They're figuring out all the pieces. Okay. They feel that way too. They feel like they are trudging through mud, and it's heavy and it's hard. And I keep telling them, you are in the hardest part. I promise you, once you get that online course or program created, okay, then that thing is done. It may need some tweaking as you launch it out there and you get feedback from people, but the bulk of it is done. Okay, cool. Once you start gaining some visibility online and you start building your email list and figuring out the strategies that are going to work for you there, that's going to start to snowball too and get easier over time. once you've been a podcast guest 2 or 3 times, that's going to feel easier too. And so the thing that I think they just think that because they're good at lots of things, because they're producers, they're intelligent, they're highly educated, that this is going to be a piece of cake. And it's not. And it's because they have to build it. And they're the ones building it. I mean, like, if you get a job, they give you everything you need. They give you the paycheck, the name tag, the business cards, the desk, the phone, the computer,
and the onboarding training to teach you how to do everything.
Exactly. Exactly. And you get to clock in and clock out and leave it there. But this thing, I'm wearing this online entrepreneurship thing around 24/7, 365. And at 2 a.m., I wake up and go, oh my gosh, did we connect the link to the website, to the sales page, to the, oh my God.
Is it going to kick off the right email sequence?
What if somebody's getting their free lead magnet they signed up for? I mean, that, and so, yes, it feels like it's a lot, because you're doing the physical work of it, and then you've got the emotional work of it of, what am I doing? Am I going to make any money? Is anybody going to buy my thing? So, yeah, it's hard.
So
but just keep going.
Just keep going. That's the advice. Just keep going.
Keep going. One foot in front of the other. Do the next right thing. You're chipping away at it. You're chipping.
Yeah.
You're just chip, and you will get there.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things I like to end episodes with is an action item.
Okay.
So if someone hits finish when this episode finishes,
yes,
and they're going to go do something,
yes,
what meaningful action could they take today, right now, to start growing their visibility? Just one thing that they could do.
I love this. I have the exact perfect thing. The minute they get done with this, I want them to get on their platform, if it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or ask their mom or their sister or somebody else to do it. Okay. Look at your personal profile. When I land on that, I want to see your name, first of all. I don't want to see a mishmash of your name. You don't want to see T Beavers when you come to my personal profile. That doesn't tell you anything. Or Beav's wife. That doesn't tell you anything. You don't want to see a picture of my dog. You want to see a picture of me. You need to see in the intro part of my Facebook personal profile who I am, who I serve, how I serve them, very succinct right there. When I go to the about section, I don't want to see no workplaces to show. I want to see I'm the CEO and founder of the company that I own, Tracy Beavers Coaching. And I work at Tracy Beavers Coaching. And I've been here this long. And I want to see in the contact information, I want to see the entire menu of you, meaning your website, your Facebook business page link, your Facebook group link, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, your TikTok, your stuff, your YouTube, whatever you've got. It needs to be all right there. And then I want you to ask yourself, is this growing my email list? How can this grow my email list? Because when you go look at my personal profile on Facebook, which I would love everybody to do.
I'm going to link it to make it super easy. All you have to do is click.
Awesome. And I'm not perfect by any means, but it's pretty dialed in.
Okay.
Cover photo, you're going to see one of two things on my cover photo throughout the year. During regular time, when I'm not in launch mode during my regularly scheduled programming, you will see my cover photo that says, "Be a confident entrepreneur. Come join my free Facebook group."
Okay.
You click, and it's got a click here button on it, because you can't put a hyperlink on a cover photo. You can put it there, but it doesn't link anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So I want people to click on that cover photo, and they'll see a little description box that'll open up to the right. That's where you put the hyperlinks. And that's where I say, come join my free Facebook group. And I tell them the reasons why they need to be in there and what's in it for them, and the link there. I also have a couple of free lead magnets there as well. So when somebody lands on my personal profile, they see who I am, what I do, who I serve, all the ways they can connect with me. And they see that cover photo. Hopefully they'll join my Facebook group. And when they come into my group, because the way I've got the membership questions set up, I will have their email address. Now,
Yes.
during promotion time, what you'll see is my cover photo says, come join my free masterclass. Click here to find your best date and time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I want them to do. I want them to
Okay.
go look at their personal profile on Facebook specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure that thing is gorgeous, dialed in, just completely says who they are, who they serve. And if they're thinking, I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, but Tracy, it's a personal profile.
Yes.
My friends and family are going to wonder what I'm doing and why I'm using it for business. I get it. I get it. But here's the thing. Your friends and family could potentially be your next best source of referrals.
Yes. 100%.
That has happened to a lot of my clients.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked at one of my clients' personal profiles and I said to her, nobody knows what you do. And she helps parents of kids with ADHD navigate their brain and get through school and all that jazz. Do you know the minute she changed that personal profile and started showcasing her practice and her online business, she started getting referrals from friends and family because they were like, oh, we didn't exactly know what you did.
How many times does that happen? We clam up when it comes to talking about our business. So this is a easy, free way to talk about your business. If you clam up when your family says, so how's your business going? And you're wondering, are they criticizing or are they being loving? This is an easy way to just show them what you're doing without any worries.
Exactly. And you're a whole person. You are a wife, a mom, a dog mom, maybe an aunt, a sister, or maybe you're a brother or an uncle. You're also an online entrepreneur.
Yep.
And in my opinion, if my friends and family get irritated by that, well, that's their problem.
That's not on me.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what they can do.
Okay.
I want to make sure they have that dialed in.
Awesome. And so I suspect we are in the time of year where when we go to your personal profile, we are going to see the banner that says, please come join me in my upcoming masterclass. Is that the truth? Is that what I'm going to see?
Yes, that is the truth.
Okay.
So
tell me more about that.
We're headed into that time of year. So my 8-week collaborative live group coaching program kicks off in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. It's called Business Visibility Made Easy. And it is the step-by-step system to grow an email list of your ideal clients without paid ads and without me telling you to go create yet another truckload of free lead magnets. Because if one more person told me to do that when I first started out, I thought I was going to lose my mind. And these are the 10 strategies that I've developed. That personal profile strategy, that's just one layer to everything I'm going to teach them in the 8 weeks. And I kick it off with live masterclasses. There's going to be 4 dates and times to choose from. They can pick the one that works best for them.
Beautiful.
Those start on October 12th. Okay. In the masterclass, it is how to grow an email list of your ideal clients, again, without paid ads or more lead magnets. And I'm going to teach 4 simple strategies in that masterclass that they can leave with that day to have more consistency with their social media, because that grows your email list and your visibility. To dial in your personal profile, we're going to talk about that again. Also that business page, and we're going to talk about some Facebook group stuff too.
Okay, so the action item for today is actually to, yes, go to your personal profile, but also go to your personal profile, Tracy, and sign up for the masterclass. I'm also going to provide a link so that you can just click straight to the sign up. So all you have to do is click that link, make it super easy, and everyone needs to sign up for this. I know I'm going to, because even if you feel like you're doing okay in the visibility realm, there's always that little nugget that you're going to get. You're going to hear it differently now than you would have 3 weeks ago, 6 months ago, a year ago. And so it's that process of continuing to learn, and then knowing that you've got this course coming up with that live component to it. Oh my gosh, that's like the cherry on top right there. That's going to be so amazing.
Thank you. And we do Q&A during the masterclass too. So as we go through the 4 simple strategies, if you've got questions, ask me.
Oh, okay. That just is even, that's the sprinkles and all the extra yummy whipped cream right there. This is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to get signed up. And that starts on October 12th, correct?
Yes. First live masterclass is October 12th at 2 p.m. Central. Okay. And they can just grab a seat. I think this is the 12th, the 13th, and the 17th and the 18th of October.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tracy, for sitting down and talking with me today and sharing all of your wisdom that you have accumulated as you have built your business using these same strategies that you are teaching us in this podcast today, but in the upcoming masterclass and in your course, of course.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the opportunity. It's been so much fun.